Greetings, humans. It's me, Bob Harris, senior editor of FootballDiehards.com. Time for the Week 11 injury review, preview, update, overview. The thing we like to do every Saturday morning to get you up to speed, to set the table, to let you know what's going on and what you need to investigate further as you prepare to set your lineups. I know some of you, don't have time to follow this minute by minute during the week, and you kind of come on the weekend and catch up. This is where you get caught up quickly, or as quickly as I can. And again, things will change after I record this, so be prepared to deal with that. Check the late breaking update section. Look for articles on teams that your players play on, or better still, go to the FSP staff rankings, the staff cheat sheet, and you'll find each individual player. There'll be a link to the latest information that maybe indicates why that player is ranked where they're ranked, or gives you at least a good idea of their status. Players highlighted in yellow or guys that are either ruled out or game time decisions. So watch for all that. Let's get into it. Bye week, Bills, Bears, Giants, 49ers. Get them out of your lineup. Also, Brandon Ayuk back on the COVID list for the 49ers. Second visit for him. So that'll be something. There's some Giants on there as well. So there'll be things to look for next week. But that's for next week. Let's look at this week. And we'll start with the big news. Falcons are at the Saints, and Drew Brees will not be in at quarterback. Taysom Hill is slated to be the starter. The Saints have not officially announced this, but the reporting has been widespread and adamant that Taysom Hill will get the start. If you're on ESPN or playing FanDuel, he has tight end eligibility. It would allow you to play a super flex, essentially, a starting quarterback in a different position. Otherwise, we don't know what to expect from Taysom Hill. We haven't seen a lot of him. He's been kind of that athletic wildcat kind of quarterback. We haven't seen him throw a lot of passes. Big article on him early Saturday morning. Check it out. That kind of runs through all the possibilities. Jameis Winston is expected to be a true backup. This according to Diana Rossini of ESPN and other reporters who say the plan is really to give Taysom Hill the shot to be the quarterback. We'll see how it works out for them. Going against the Falcons, Calvin Ridley off the injury report for the Falcons. Everybody there is good to go. Detroit Lions hosting or at Carolina. For the Lions, Matthew Stafford is listed as questionable, has a torn ligament in his thumb. He is expected to play. He threw in practice, looked fine the last 2 days, Thursday and Friday. Also, he injured the thumb late last week's game and finished the game with that. The problem is he'll be down some weapons. DeAndre Swift, Kenny Golladay, and Danny Amendola all ruled out for this game. Golladay hit the practice field Wednesday and then seemed to have a setback. Swift suffered a concussion during the week, so not enough time to clear through the protocol. That'll be something to watch next week. This is a super sweet matchup for running back, so it's a damn shame that he's not playing. Adrian Peterson, Kerryon Johnson will get a job. Marvin Jones Jr., Marvin Hall, Quintez Cephas, etc. will be the top wide receiving threats. TJ Hawkinson off the injury report. On the other side of the ball, no Christian McCaffrey. Of course, Mike Davis gets a great matchup. Finally, he's struggled a bit the last 4 games. He's kind of filled in. This is a good matchup for him. Hopefully, he can get the job done. Whether Teddy Bridgewater is his quarterback remains to be seen. He's listed as questionable. Will be a game time decision. Did get on the practice field. This seems to me like it's leading towards him not playing. So that would leave it up to P.J. Walker, the former XFL star, or Will Grier, the guy we've all seen and wasn't that impressive. They haven't announced who it would be. My guess is it would be Walker, who came in last week when Bridgewater was hurt. Cincinnati Bengals at Washington to face the football team. Joe Mixon out again. We don't know how long he's going to be out. Didn't practice at all. They're being very mum, but they say it's not going to be a long-term thing. Kind of already has, right? And you have to wonder if they wish they hadn't put him on IR. He's missed more than 3 weeks now. So anyhow, Giovanni Bernard gets to start again. Everyone else off the injury report. T. Higgins had an illness during the week, non-COVID. He is off the injury report. On the other side of the ball, Isaiah Wright, the wide receiver. Dontrell Inman, the wide receiver. Dustin Hopkins, kicker, all listed as questionable. Illness and hamstring for Wright and Inman, respectively. Hopkins is to right groin. He kicked through it last week. Not sure you need the football team kicker on your football team, so there's that. New England Patriots at the Texans. Sony Michel was elevated from the practice squad. He could play. He could not play. This was the end of his 3-week window, so if they didn't promote him today, he wasn't getting promoted. Damian Harris has been on a roll, but he's listed as questionable. Played through the same chest and back issues last week, and he did it pretty effectively, right? So every possibility he could be the lead back again in a great matchup against the Texans. N'Keal Harry added to the injury report on Friday. Not great news there. Questionable with a shoulder injury. Guys can't keep it together. Jacoby Myers has kind of established himself as the leading threat there. Ryan Izzo, the tight end, hamstring in hand, also questionable. Other side of the ball, Kenny Stills with a back issue. The only player on the injury report, skill player, and far enough down the depth chart, you're not worried. It's all Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb at this point. For the Cleveland Browns are hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. Cody Parkey just activated from the, and Jack Conklin, the offensive tackle, from the reserve COVID-19 list, so he will be available to kick. On the other side of the ball, Corey Clement on the list, along with the J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, so no big deal there, right? They're not really major contributors anyway. Zach Ertz, eligible to return from IR, but has not been activated as of the time I do this, and Doug Peterson said on Friday that he probably isn't ready this week, so assume that. Watch the late-breaking updates, see if that changes. I think it would only be of a minor impact on Dallas Goedert. It wouldn't keep me from playing him, and I probably wouldn't be forcing Ertz into the lineup given Peterson's comments. The Jacksonville Jaguars hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jalen Samuels out for the Steelers, quadricep injury. Trey Edmonds running back out as well. No big deal there. They're not major contributors. Laviska Shenault Jr. out for the Jaguars, along with Jack O'Shaughnessy, the tight end, and Chris Thompson placed on IR. So, man, it's James Robinson, right? I mean, he's about it. Divine Ozigbo and Dario Ogunbowale are behind him, but I think Chris Thompson's the only other back there to have a carry this year. Robinson was on the injury report early in the week, gave him limited practice, I'm guessing just to give him some rest. Colin Johnson, the wide receiver, is questionable. Gardner Minshew, questionable. Minshew won't play. It'll be Jake Luton once again. So the big news, Laviska Shenault out again. So there you have that. So Keelan Cole, maybe another good week for him. The Tennessee Titans at Baltimore. The Ravens are kind of depleted along the defensive front. Calais Campbell, Brandon Williams, both doubtful. So good news for Derrick Henry a little bit. On the other side of the ball, everyone's off the injury report except Adam Humphries, who is still out with a concussion. He's getting better, but he's not there yet, right? So A.J. Brown, usual thing. Practice Wednesday, no practice Thursday, practice Friday. He'll be good to go. Defenses have kind of caught on to him. He's mentioned that. They got a little article on that up on the site as well. They're rolling coverages to him. Not a surprise. He makes a lot of plays. Late afternoon window. Sam Darnold listed as doubtful, will not play. Joe Flacco will get another start. Darnold hopes to return for week 12. We'll see. Flacco, I mean, team has scored like 10 touchdowns. 3 of them came last week, right? Or last game with Joe Flacco starting. Seems to give the downfield threats a little bit of more chance than Darnold at this point, but it's not great either way, right? Sam Ficken, the kicker, looks like he'll return this week. Sergio Castillo's been filling in. Ficken is practicing, listed as questionable. My guess is he returns this week. Green Bay Packers at the Indianapolis Colts. This is a tough matchup. For the Packers, Alan Lazard listed as questionable. He is activated off IR. This might be a case, maybe even like with Sony Michel, where the 3-week window was ending and they needed to activate him or they couldn't. Talked to multiple Packers beat writers this week. Matt Schneidman from The Athletic, Bill Huber from SI, both kind of mixed on this. No one feels really confident that he will play. They could use him. The good news is Devontae Adams is off the injury report. Had the ankle injury, limited him early in the week, and he is off the injury report and ready to go in a tough matchup again. Equinemius St. Brown, also questionable. Darius Shepard, the wide receiver, also questionable. Tyler Irvin, running back kick returner, ruled out for this game. So, and A.J. Dillon still on the reserve COVID list, so he's getting better, but not back yet. On the other side of the ball, Jack Doyle listed as questionable. Well, with the coming off the concussion, cost him last week. He did get into full practice. He's got to get final clearance before he can play. The Denver Broncos hosting the Miami Dolphins. Drew Lock and Noah Fant both listed as questionable. Both are expected to play, but watch the late-breaking update section, especially in Lock's case. They're going to have a walkthrough on Saturday. I'm recording this around noon Eastern time. They'll have a walkthrough at some point, and that'll kind of be the final determination. But all indications are Lock will give it a go. Will he be full speed? We'll see. Fant as well, both with rib injuries. Brett Ripien standing by to start if Locke can't, and Nick Vannett would be the next man up at tight end. Minnesota Vikings facing the Dallas Cowboys. They will be hosting them. CJ Ham is on the reserve COVID list, a fullback, so not a big fantasy player. Beyond that, Irv Smith Jr. listed as questionable with the same groin injury that kept him out last week. Kyle Rudolph got a little additional run. I don't know that it's a huge fantasy issue, but one to watch going into that Sunday night's game. The Raiders, COVID issues, right? Their entire defense, essentially, they have 11 players on the reserve COVID list. Not all of them tested positive. I think Cleveland Farrell has the defensive end, so he won't play. I think most of the rest of them, if you see, there's an article right up just a short time ago in the late-breaking update section saying there were no more positive tests today, but none of them practiced this week. They all had to isolate, so it's hard to prepare for the most dangerous offense in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs, when you can't actually practice. So we'll see how that goes. Jalen Richard listed as questionable with a chest injury. We'll see if he can get back. He's been a very minor contributor. Devontae Booker is making a push and has been putting in some good numbers, and maybe that just gets him a little extra. I don't think it cuts into Josh Jacobs' workload at all. So on the other side of the ball, Sammy Watkins listed as questionable again. Seemed like he was recovered from the hamstring, ready to come back. It's been like a 4-game absence, right? And then something happened to his calf in practice, and so he's questionable. Again, Mecole Hardman on the reserve COVID list unless he gets activated sometime Saturday. Probably won't play. Monday night's game, no major injury issues to watch for the Rams. I think Aaron Donald is the only player, worth noting, and I'm sure he will play. Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller, both practicing fully with their finger and hip and groin issues respectively. So everyone else is good to go. So there you have it. Once again, check the main page of the site. Updates will be going up right up through each kickoff window, right? So I'll have the inactives and all those things. You can listen to me on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. If you're hearing this Saturday, listen Saturday night, SiriusXM NFL and Fantasy Sports Radio. 3 hours of football diehards with myself and Mike Dempsey. Sunday morning, catch me on the SiriusXM pregame show with Jeff Manns from 11 to 1 p.m. right up to kickoff. We'll be covering the inactives. We'll have them on the site. Check the pregame show on the site, the live video with Emil Cadlick and Jason Brady as they run through the DFS ownerships and help get you on point there. Plenty of other stuff up as well. John Lobb's videos. I'll be doing an Ask Me Anything video later today. You can catch that every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. You can get in and ask me questions. I will answer what you need to know. Beyond that, the usual assortment of features and columns. Justin Llanero, Kyle Dvorak, Gary Davenport. We have rankings. Again, the staff rankings, good place to stop to check up on all your individual players, see where they stand heading into the weekend. Get those lineups set. Have a great week. I'm Bob Harris, over and out.